Namaskar. A warm welcome from AMRI Hospital, Bhubaneswar. My name is Nilanjana Mukherejee. I am taking care of the unit as a unit head. Today, on the occasion of World Women's Day, I would have an interactive panel discussion with very eminent doctors. So, in 1911 was the first day where 8th of March was observed as World Women's Day. So, it has been over 100 years that we are still observing that day. We are still trying to empower women, and we are still trying to close all areas where we can give the freedom for women to be as equally as compatible, as capable as the men. But in the healthcare industry, there are wonders which the women are doing, from nursing to doctors to technicians to paramedics to security. It is driven by women. There is a very eminent person in the healthcare industry, Ms. Dr. Devi Shetty. He had always said one thing: when you have an organization full of women, you feel that there are a lot of sincerity and a lot of hardships, because a woman, whenever she earns a money, she takes back the entire money to her house. She does not get into any kind of malpractices or any kind of addiction. So, to begin with today's panel discussion, we have Dr. Harpreet Kaur. She is a senior consultant Gynecology and Obstetrics with us in AMRI. Dr. Ankita Tiwari, she is a consultant Endocrinology, and Dr. Romila Tiwari, she is a consultant Oncology, medical oncology. So, we have very beautiful and very talented doctors with us in the panel. And to begin with today's moderation, I would like to put my question to Dr. Harpreet. So, Dr. Harpreet, there are various issues and biasness which you face in a woman, and you are dealing with that each and every day. And break the bias is the topic of today's discussion. So, in your area, what are the biasness which still the women are having in your area of gynecology and obstetrics, which you think should be intimated to the viewers?
Yeah, actually this topic by UN, the break the bias, has been very thoughtfully put. So, it includes gender equality in all the spheres. It is not only in the workplace or at home, it is basically including places like in the healthcare sector. It plays a very important role, because there are many topics including especially in our department, like you were saying, especially about menopause, about young women having problems. And why am I saying that it is a inequality? Because most of these girls or women who come with some complaints are often put off by their family, saying that it's just an emotional factor and they are dealing with some emotional problems, and there is not actually a health problem, and there the treatment is also sometimes delayed. So, this is the first place where we have to really break that inequality, that even when a female is having some complaints, it should not be neglected. It could be an emotional factor, but it has to be attended to.
So, they have to come to you first, right? So, Dr. Ankita Tiwari, in this break the bias, where what she said was menopausal issues, a lot of hormonal issues. So, have you come across this problem situation with women who have this inhibition of coming out with the actual truth if they have certain hormonal imbalances which are affecting their day-to-day life? Do you think you can give a message to the viewers where women can come forward with some kind of treatment where they can work on the hormonal imbalances?
Dr. Harpreet has highlighted basically the social aspects, the social differences which women feel both at workplace and at home. I would like to highlight some biological differences, because there are sex hormones have a huge impact on female body as compared to the male things. So, emotional imbalances, irregular cycles, some facial hairs, acne, they are more common in women, and emotionally also they are more affected by them. So, yes, there are many, like I have seen many patients who are having these issues, but are inhibited to certain extent to come. And as
क्या
far
मैसेज
as
है आपको व्यूअर्स के प्रति कि व्हाट शुड दे कम फॉरवर्ड विथ? दे शुड नॉट बी ashamed of their hormonal imbalances. So, So what should, as a doctor, what, as a woman, as a doctor, what should be a message to the viewers?
So if you are having any kind of hormonal issues, like if you are having some mood fluctuations, irregular cycles, increased facial hair, acne, then definitely you should consult, you should come forward and consult the hormone specialist and get it relieved as soon as possible.
Okay. So डॉक्टर रोमिला, यू हैव बीन, आप ऑन्कोलॉजी के फील्ड में काम कर रही हैं. कैंसर इज द वर्ड वेयर एवरीबडी गेट्स स्कैर्ड. सो on this occasion, since it is a women's day, what is the common thing, problem which you think women face when they come to you in terms of oncology, in the field of oncology?
Cancer per se, जब that word comes to you, आप डर जाते हैं. You think that सब खत्म हो गया, the world has come to an end. But I must tell कि please come out of this thought. It's just a disease and घर बैठ के अपने symptoms को छुपा के उसको हम बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं और रादर हम कैंसर से डर बढ़ा रहे हैं. बिकॉज जल्दी व्हेन वी डिटेक्ट कैंसर अर्ली, it gets cured. You're cured for life. Yes. I'll tell you कि I mean it might sound a little awkward, but getting an early breast cancer and getting it treated for life with a minor surgery and whatever process, for 5 years you are on a pill or something and then you are free for life. It's better than having diabetes, it's better than having chronic renal disease where till the end of your life you are sitting in the hospital, I mean on and off. So don't hesitate to come up with something in your body that is troubling you for beyond some time. आया चला गया ठीक है, it's fine. But unfortunately cancer comes in a later stages. So I'll come to that a little later, but don't stay back, don't डरिए मत. कम अप. इट इज़ आप घर के लिए, आप अपने ऑफिस के लिए, अपने बच्चों के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है. तो आई थिंक अपने बॉडी को उतना चांस दीजिए कि इट इज़ बेटर टेकन केयर ऑफ.
Dr. Harpreet, my question to you and would like to know what ये adolescence जो है, ये period है जो आप puberty attain करती हैं, अभी जो generation है, female generation, what is the common problem you are finding or what is the way forward? Because you know we get lot of calls from people where they go into mental problems also. तो इसमें as a gynecologist, what are the common issues that you find अभी?
Nowadays the most common जो adolescent age group में problem है, that is irregular cycles. So and that आजकल इतना common है, if I say 10 years back we used to hardly see so many patients, or 10-15 years back. Now incidence is like every other patient. अगर 10 लड़कियाँ हमारे OPD में आई हैं तो I think 8 would be having the similar complaints. Irregular cycles, having long gaps between cycles, having frequent cycles, and most common is delayed cycles. And one thing common, ये एक चीज़ जो सब में common होता है, one is a part, most of them would be having obesity also, and other hormonal features like acne, like Dr. Ankita also mentioned some parts. So adolescent में I think presently जो situation है, one is the society जो अभी हो गया है, one is nuclear families. They are now independent girls who do what they want to. Second, the most important now, last 2 years we have been seeing because of the pandemic, जो घर में रह जा रहे हैं, उनका diet, उनका exercise, जो हम पहले सोचते थे कि इट इज़ मोर ऑफ अ थ्योरेटिकल थिंग, बट नाउ हम प्रैक्टिकली देख रहे हैं कि बिकॉज घर में रहने के वजह से चेंजेस इन डाइट, बिकॉज फास्ट फूड जोमेटो स्विगी इतना ईजिली एक्सेसिबल है कि दे आर हैविंग लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स विद देयर वेट एंड ऑल्सो विद देयर साइकिल्स. एंड अनदर वेरी सरप्राइजिंग थिंग आई हैव सीन विथ गर्ल्स अभी, बिकॉज सब घर में पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं, एग्ज़ाम्स है, स्ट्रेस है, वेट गेन हो रहा है, दे आर गोइंग टू डिप्रेशन ऑल्सो. एंड इवन हमारे हॉस्पिटल में लेटली इन अ वीक आई हैव एडमिटेड वन गर्ल हु इज़ रिपीटेडली गेटिंग एडमिटेड कि उसको बहुत इरेगुलर ब्लीडिंग हो रहा है, बट वी आर नॉट गेटिंग एनी कॉज. तो एडोलेसेंस में इरेगुलर साइकिल्स बिकॉज वो लोग ज़्यादा अपना दे डू नॉट नो वॉट इज़ राइट और रॉन्ग. अभी जो सोसाइटी में जैसे चल रहा है, द फूड हैबिट्स, द सोसाइटी हैबिट्स, तो वो लोग जनरली फॉलो कर रहे हैं. सो नाउ इट इज़ आर like it's our now we have to teach them कि yes ये जो चीज़ें बोलते हैं, टाइम पे उठो, टाइम पे खाओ, एक्सरसाइज करो, yeah there are reasons, yes, and that has to be done by them. That is the first and then next comes treatment.
So, Dr. Harpreet, do you find any girl, or do you think females are much more sexually active before age than our generation used to be, and the awareness of being sexually active is lacking?
Yeah, they are sexually active. We, I said, no, what a lot of changes in the last 15-20 years seen, and one thing contributes is हमारा जो स्कूल में नॉलेज देना, एजुकेशन देना, या हम एज पेरेंट्स हम जो एजुकेशन दे रहे, वी आर रियली लैकिंग बिहाइंड. एंड वहाँ पे फर्स्ट स्टेप है, दे डोंट लर्न एनीथिंग फ्रॉम पेरेंट्स और फ्रॉम टीचर्स, दे लर्न इट फ्रॉम फ्रेंड्स एंड सोशल मीडिया, एंड देयर थिंग्स आर गोइंग रॉन्ग. तो उनका इंक्विजिटिवनेस बढ़ता है, दे डोंट नो व्हाट इज़ राइट और रॉन्ग. उनको लगता है दिस इज़ शोन एवरीवेयर, सो दिस इज़ वेरी नॉर्मल एंड दिस इज़ द जनरल नॉर्म. एंड उसके वजह से द सेक्शुअल एक्टिविटी हैज़ इंक्रीज्ड, the number of medical terminations have also increased, and still they don't understand that this is a problem. And even sexually transmitted diseases which were not seen for a long time in between have also increased.
So that is another area where the society is concerned area.
उसमें तो concern ये है कि जो again the topic break the bias, we have to break the bias of our lack in educating about sex. Sexual education has to be an important part of the स्कूल एजुकेशन, ऑल्सो बाय पेरेंट्स. जहाँ हम लोग थोड़ा सा पीछे आ जाते हैं कि नो इट्स नॉट द राइट टाइम, बट आई थिंक इन प्रेजेंट डे कंडीशन देयर इज नो राइट टाइम. वेन एवर यू थिंक कि अब बच्चा समझ रहा है, इस बोलना चाहिए.
So, Dr. Ankita, my question to you is, thyroid is a very common problem with females, right? और एक इनहिबिशन है कि थायराइड मतलब मोटे हो गए हैं, ये हो गया फ्लव. सो हाउ क्योरेबल इज इट? हाउ कैन वी कंट्रोल इट? हाउ कैन द विमेन डिटेक्ट इट? कैसे, कौन से कॉजेज होते हैं या फिर सिम्टम्स होते हैं जिसकी वजह से आ सकते हैं, एंड हाउ अर्ली इज इट डिटेक्टेड और हाउ लेट इट इज डिटेक्टेड?
ओपीडी में मैं ज़्यादातर पेशेंट्स को देखती हूँ कि बिकॉज हम वेट गेन कर रहे हैं, तो हम लोग पूछते हैं कि भाई वेट आपका 10 kg गेन हो गया इन 1 ईयर, सो दे एट्रीब्यूट एवरीथिंग टू थायराइड, कि थायराइड की वजह से हमारा वेट गेन हो गया. डेफिनेटली थायराइड एक कॉमन रीज़न है वेट गेन का, बट थायराइड की वजह से आपका 3 to 4 किलो वेट गेन हो सकता है. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप 10 to 20 kgs वेट गेन कर लेंगे जस्ट थायराइड से. सो वेट गेन होने का मेन रीज़न होता है आपका कैलोरी, जो एक्सेस कैलोरीज आप कंज्यूम करते हैं या फिजिकल एक्टिविटी कम करते हैं. तो अगर आप वेट गेन कर रहे हैं तो थायराइड स्क्रीन आपको ज़रूर करना चाहिए, बिकॉज ये बहुत कॉमन कॉज है. और शुरू में थायराइड के सिम्टम्स बहुत वेग होते हैं एंड दे आर वेरी डिफरेंट इन डिफरेंट पीपल. एक पर्सन को हो सकता है कि बहुत सिवियरिटी लगे, बहुत थकान लगे, फॉरगेटफुलनेस, मेमोरी लॉस, हेयर लॉस, ड्राई स्किन, और वही स्टेज में दूसरे पर्सन को हो सकता है बहुत कम सिम्टम्स आएँ. तो इसलिए स्क्रीनिंग इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो अगर आपकी फैमिली हिस्ट्री है थायराइड डिसऑर्डर की, आपके साइकिल्स अगर इरेगुलर हो रहे हैं, अगर आप वेट गेन कर रहे हैं, तो डेफिनेटली आपको थायराइड चेक करना चाहिए. सिम्टम्स जैसा मैंने बोला, एकदम नील सिम्टम्स से सीवियर सिम्टम्स तक कोई भी रेंज हो सकता है. तो आपको अपना टेस्ट करके डेफिनेटली स्क्रीन करना चाहिए. एंड सेकेंड, जो बायस है कि हाँ वेट गेन थायराइड की वजह से हो रहा है, तो थायराइड डिसऑर्डर बेसिकली हम 2 पार्ट में डिवाइड करते हैं, हाइपर थायराइडिज्म या हाइपोथायराइडिज्म. हाइपोथायराइडिज्म यानी थायराइड जो कम फंक्शन करता है, उसमें आपका वेट गेन पॉसिबल है, बट वो भी ऐसा 10 to 20 kg वेट गेन नहीं हो जाएगा. दैट वुड बी अराउंड 3 to 4 kgs ऑफ वेट गेन. उससे भी ज़्यादा वेट गेन कर रहे हैं तो डेफिनेटली आपको अपना लाइफस्टाइल चेंज करना पड़ेगा. फीमेल बॉडी के बारे में अगर डिस्कस करें तो उसमें स्केलेटल मास कम होता है, फैट ज़्यादा होता है एज़ कम्पेयर टू मेल बॉडी, एंड दे आर मोर प्रोन टू गेन वेट. और ज़्यादातर जो एंडोक्राइन डिजीज़ हैं, डायबिटीज़, हाइपोथायरॉयडिज्म, कोलेस्ट्रॉल लेवल, दे आर ऑल रिलेटेड टू वेट. तो भले ही आप एक टीनेजर हैं या फिर एक वर्किंग विमेन है, होम मेकर हैं, आपको अपना वेट कंट्रोल में रखना है बाय प्रॉपर डाइट, बाय फॉलोइंग फिजिकल एक्टिविटी एंड अ हेल्दी लाइफस्टाइल. सो दैट वुड बी माई मैसेज कि आप अपना लाइफस्टाइल को ठीक रखिए, अपने वेट को कंट्रोल में रखिए, एंड स्टिल इफ़ यू आर हैविंग एनी सिम्टम्स और इफ़ यू आर हैविंग पॉजिटिव फैमिली हिस्ट्री, देन गेट योर थायराइड चेक्ड.
Thank you, Dr. Ankita. It was nice to know that. So, Dr. Romila, what is your message today in terms of breaking the bias in terms of cancer, which you've already said, and what are the common cancer issues which the women are facing today, and because it is detected late, things go out of hand. Any message you want to give to our viewers?
Yeah, I am really thankful to you to give me this opportunity, and I would request everybody around, starting from the cameraman, to take the message back home. हमें अपने बॉडी के बारे में, जैसा मैंने बोला, विजिलेंट रहना है. Commonest cancer in urban and also nowadays rural also is breast cancer is very common. एक छोटी सी चीज़, जस्ट आप महीने में एक बार, once a month, you examine yourself. It's just a simple test standing in front of the mirror. Many YouTube videos you will get on that. So, early detection of breast cancer is half the problem solved, rather than like we see, abhi bhi OPD mein we get patients who come with huge mass, and it's something which is not visible, so it is easily hidden, and then they come up with such late stages. So that is unfortunate and bad. I know, and as a woman, what challenges do you have? When I ask कि why didn't you tell earlier, आपने पहले क्यों नहीं बताया? मैम घर में मैं अकेले हूँ, मुझे अगर कुछ हो जाता है तो बच्चों का कौन क्या करेगा, सब कुछ डिस्टर्ब हो जाएगा. मैंने कहा और आप तब डिस्टर्ब होता फॉर अ गुड रीज़न. आप 6 महीने 1 ईयर, मतलब मोस्टली इट इज़ 6 months की द फीमेल्स हैव टू बी इन हॉस्पिटल इन एंड आउट थिंग. बट नाउ you are there in a position where we will not be able to offer you the best as compared to, so that bias has to be broken. Your body is your so much own. I'm sure even a homemaker, don't you agree कि they have passion about something? किसी को jewelry का है, किसी को साड़ी का है, किसी को dress का है. People मतलब want to get makeup and everything. So why not your own body? Yes. Na?
So why not take care of your own health?
So
right?
just don't ignore symptoms. Neck का lump हुआ, common causes like anything in your neck, any lump in your breast, any abdominal discomfort. अगर आपको पेट में कुछ problem हो रही है, I think you must come up with it. Just meet a doctor. That's enough. He will, rest is on to that doctor to guide you.
So since you are all very, very eminent doctors, you are all daughters and wives, and you're all very efficiently managing your work-life balance, which all of you are smiling, because even I also very efficiently quote unquote manage it. So as a woman with power, as a woman where you have made your own place in today's society, you're fighting at par with men, if not better, I would say. What would your message to the viewers for this year's Women's Day, and what are the strong message you want to give to the women who basically role model you as well?
Yeah, basically, like again the same thing, work-life balance is something which is very difficult to say कि कहाँ, where, what person. But one thing I would give a message across is at least women are not less than men, and that is what we have been saying. तो at least एक कोशिश तो करें. घर में वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस तभी होगा when there is a support from the family, from your husband, parents, and I think in the long run बच्चे सबसे अच्छा समझते हैं. You don't have to teach them. अगर वो देखते हैं कि हमारी मम्मी इतना कर रही है, घर में भी काम कर रही है, बाहर में भी काम कर रही है, they become more efficient, they understand and they take the responsibility early. जो हमारा डर रहता है कि हम बाहर जाएंगे, हमारे बच्चों को कौन देखेगा, कौन खाना खिलाएगा, कौन पढ़ाएगा. And in this now my daughter is 12 years, so I have realized कि ठीक है, मतलब we feel scared for them, but वो लोग they know कि हमको कैसे manage करना है. But support family से बहुत ज़रूरी है, parents, in-laws, husbands, so that support is needed. But इस बात के लिए कि family हमारे वजह से problem में आएगी, वो एकदम गलत है. उल्टा हम लोग जब work कर रहे हैं, we are supporting financially, we are educating other people and who are understanding कि हम जो पढ़ रहे हैं या आगे चल के हम कुछ और कर सकते हैं. And it's not always duration of time what you are giving to your child, it's quality time and even work. मतलब इनिशियल कैरियर में तो होता है हम दिन रात स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं, सो समटाइम्स नहीं समझ में आता है, बट देन यू नो वेयर who wants you, needs you at the right time, you should be there.
And I'm sure you can balance that.
Still in the process. But yes, we can.
So Dr. Ankita, what would be your take? आपका message to the viewers as a woman who has achieved, what would be your message to the next generation of females?
it would be almost similar to as Dr. Harpreet has mentioned. I think smart work and the efficient management is very much necessary, and spending quality time is more important than the quantity of time. So as far as your clinical work is concerned, we cannot compromise, we have to be here with our patients, but family में efficient time management करके चीज़ों को थोड़ा सा बेटर किया जा सकता है, एंड ऑब्वियसली सपोर्ट चाहिए आपको फैमिली का, हस्बैंड का, इन लॉज का. व्हेन यू आर नॉट देयर विद योर किड्स देन दे आर देयर टू सपोर्ट, एंड मैनी ऑफ द टाइम्स बच्चों की स्कूलिंग्स में या उनको स्कूल छोड़ने जाना, खाना खिलाना वी कैन नॉट डू, बट अगर सपोर्ट आपका एडिक्वेट है तो देन यू कैन डू.
So, Dr. Romila, what would be your take on women violence against women, and especially domestic violence against women? How strong would you want to put your message across against the domestic violence for women?
I mean, like 2 words would suffice: zero tolerance. Zero tolerance, you know. कोई भी domestic violence हो, that's not acceptable. Why? Can we think of hitting our male counterpart or somebody at home? Domestic violence in any form is not good at all. You must speak up. This bias has to be broken. Like, nee, it's okay. Like, husband रात को आया, like my maid at times back in Delhi used to say. मैंने कहा no, you have to speak. So zero tolerance on that. Domestic violence is something which I'm sure no woman or no person for that matter is, and more so women. They are sweet, delicate, they are such special creation of God. Why must they, you know, be any part of any violence?
That is very true, but then we face lot of staff and lot of people who are very silently tolerating lot of things and in the house, but standing up for them as women achievers, I think we should support them and stand up. We must support
and we must tell them, we must encourage them to speak up. And most of the people will at the end of it all apologize and calm down. If whosoever has been involved in the domestic violence, once he or she, whosoever it is, once you communicate, then the message goes to that person also, and I'm sure that would, otherwise it is a vicious cycle. आप चुप रहेंगे, आपको और किया जाएगा.
So, any incident or any particular point or any kind of a patient you want to mention, which is something which you will always remember in your life as a woman, if you want to share any kind of particular incident? I have lot many to share, but
there are many.
many, but something which really has touched you in your life.
Yeah, like I think there was one lady long back who was she was herself a like cervical cancer survivor, early detected, early, and she then made it a point to help in the awareness which is of that. So she was not somebody who would really be able to go to the media or to the social media, but उसका एक बहुत अच्छा मतलब एक उसने बना लिया कि मैं जो सफ़र की, and she was very lucky कि early stage मतलब stage 1 में उसका हो गया and she got operated, but उसने उस बात से she got so affected, then she decided कि at least मेरे आसपास जो हैं मैं उनको थोड़ा सा awareness दूँ, and she was word by mouth मतलब जो हमसे सुना उसने आगे उसको बस spread किया. And another thing she promoted was cervical cancer vaccine. Okay. So and I said no कि उसने maybe 10 को भी किया हो 20 को भी किया हो, but then she put
that effort
and she took that step. So that was one very like one positive कि हाँ लोग तो आते हैं बीमारी से, but उससे उन्होंने भी सीख ली. Otherwise cancer, like Dr. Romila was saying, वो तो like end of the world, अभी cancer हो गया and we are gone, and इसके बाद तो हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते.
So what about you, Dr. Ankita? Do you want to relate any incident which you relate to women's equality, women's power, anything which you want to relate to, any incident where a patient has come to you and you want to relate to this topic, or you generally want to, you don't have any particular thing to say, any kind of incident which keeps your mind occupied? Not really? Dr. Romila, do you want?
Yes. A very educated, I mean she was one of my very early patients, like I was very new to this field, cancer, highly educated, middle-aged woman, and she told like she was having pain abdomen, and she was a regular gym goer, physically fit and a complete urban cosmopolitan woman, but she told, I mean, like, she kept her symptoms. Then I still remember that day, the day she was diagnosed, she told, "Doc, I am the biggest fool on this earth." मैंने कहा, like, she told herself कि मुझे पता था कुछ है अंदर हो रहा है, but I didn't come up, and she came up with stage 4, unfortunately, when the disease had she was CA rectum spread to the liver. She took the treatment, but then she started a campaign, like the way, and even after she's not, I mean, she's not there, she doesn't, I mean, she succumbed to it about in 3-4 years of her diagnosis, but she does, that campaign still runs by the survivors or even the people who are going through the treatment. So we need those survivors, like those kind of patients, and I really feel, I still remember that statement, ki, like, having had everything from a affluent, creamy society of South Delhi, she was, but still she, so, you know, women should be like that, you know, even if you have got it, fight it out, that spirit of fighting, yeah.
It should be there.
Yeah.
So, one incident I would like to tell my viewers is during COVID, there was a very affluent person who got his father admitted to our hospital, and eventually every 15 to 20 minutes I used to get a call from him stating that what has happened to my father, you are not taking care of my father is down with NIV, and the gentleman was quite aged, about 80 years old, and finally he succumbed. In this duration, the son did not even visit our hospital. He would stand outside about 500 meters away from the hospital, even a consent if had to be signed, because he was so scared of COVID. Finally, when his father succumbed and his body was packed and was ready for release as per the government rules, he calls me and says, "आपका कोई organization नहीं है या आपका hospital में कोई नहीं है जो मेरे father का funeral करवा सके?" That day I thought, had it been a daughter, she would have never done it. A daughter wouldn't have left her father the way he did. So, it is a lesson learned. It is a lesson, and my message to the society is, whether it's a son or a daughter, please educate them, please teach them to respect each other. There is no difference between a son and a daughter. There is not a single difference other than the biological difference between a son and a daughter. So, my message in this Women's Day, beat the bias, would be, don't have biasness over sons and daughters. And in fact, anybody whenever has a daughter in this hospital, I think Dr. Harpreet can say, we always ask for double mithai. Hai na? So, my message to the viewers would be that please do not be biased against son and daughter.
दर्शक बंधु, बिना अपॉइंटमेंट रे सबु रोगर सफल उपचार जानिबा पई हेले एबे ही सब्सक्राइब करंतु हमर YouTube चैनल प्रिकॉशन फॉर हेल्थ आ बेल आइकन क्लिक कला फल रे आपण हेल्थ रिलेटेड वीडियो सहित रहिबे अपडेट।